reclaiming New Orleans City Park with a group of volunteers working to release the park. On web kits, travelers get a better understanding of the food fleet. We'll visit volunteers participating in the first National Day of Service and Remembrance. Do you know your state has a volunteer partnership with a Latin country? Travel Television talks to Partners of the Americas to learn more.
Hi, I'm Kevin Mayberry here with Travel Television, and I am here joined by Andy Bassett, the marketing representative of National Outdoor Leadership School, or NOLS, as it's known.
So NOLS was founded in 1965 by a gentleman by the name of Paul Petzold. And he brought this idea of wilderness education to the United States and didn't have anybody to teach the courses. So he came up with the idea of the National Outdoor Leadership School to teach people technical outdoor skills, leadership techniques, and then environmental ethics. How are we going to be able to be comfortable, ethical, and responsible when we're outside? We'll take people from a novice level in some regards. I mean, they've never even put a backpack on their back, and we'll teach them really the roots of it, how to put your pack on, how to walk with it, and through that progression we'll be able to teach and develop competency of our students.
What is the bus all about?
Well, the bus is our main marketing tool for our organization, and about 4 years ago we decided to put this on the road to increase our people's awareness of the National Outdoor Leadership School. But we felt that we should do it in a way that's a little bit more renewable. So our bus actually runs on recycled vegetable oil, so waste oil from restaurants. It also runs on solar energy, so we have 8 solar panels that are on the roof that will power everything that's not street legal. So your horn, your taillights, it has to run off your alternator, but everything else on our bus runs on solar power. We're the co-founders of the Leave No Trace theory, this idea of minimizing your impact while you're outside and really preserving the wilderness, which is our classroom. And so we're trying to bring that here into the front country. And again, with this whole idea of transference, taking your skill, moving it into the front country, this is our idea behind that is our bus, is something where people can become a little bit more aware of their impact in the world. We purchased the bus about 5 years ago and did all the conversions that are on here. One of the first is we can actually look down. The floors we're seeing are actually not hardwood, they're bamboo, which is the fastest growing grass in the world. So it's a more sustainable product for us to have on here. And we also added staff housing. For lack of a better term, these are our cubbies and basically where we live. So I'm in my late 20s and I have a cubby again. Everything I own for the bus is actually in here, which is kind of fun. Usually have stickers of everywhere we're going. I guess it adds to the flair of the bus. And then behind you is actually our graveyard. This is everyone that's been on the bus with us. And some of the fun stories they've been able to pull throughout the way.
How much vegetable oil do you use?
So we can hold up to 190 gallons of oil. And it's a 90-gallon tank, a 30-gallon tank, and then we have 5-gallon paint buckets that we'll actually use to pour it into the bus.
Yeah.
We have 14 of those, so that's 70 gallons there. We average about 7 miles to the gallon on vegetable oil, but we look around 8 to the miles to the gallon on diesel, and she's a 30,000-pound bus.
Right.
It's quite a lot of machinery to move. So we've been on a tour for the past 4 years. We've done 110,000 miles and been to all the continental 48 states. And so she's just constantly moving around. And about once a week, we'll actually take time off to what we call grease. And so we'll go to restaurants, we'll put on clothes that we can get dirty, and we'll literally hand pull each gallon of oil out of these grease traps and then put it into the bus. And the oil literally just goes through a couple of layers of filtration, which is just furnace filters that you use in home heating. And that's all we really have to do in order to run it in the bus.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Let's walk back here a little.
Well, the first thing we can probably look at on the way down is this is kind of our wall of fame. This is our family photo album. These are all NOLS alumni that have come by the bus and given us pictures. A really fun picture is actually up here. This is taken in 1982 in Alaska. And above you can read there's a name, John Gans. That is our executive director. So he runs NOLS. That is his student course. Step back here towards the back as we have some seating that's set up for classroom settings. So we'll go to elementary schools and high schools, and we'll actually have the students come in here and we'll teach class here. So we have a television that we actually will show some NOLS videos. We have some also on climate change and some other things. So we'll educate you a little bit more about NOLS, what we can offer, and then again about personal environmental impact.
Basically, you could be in here as your home.
But yeah, this is the last year of my life. We're currently sitting in my living room.
How long do these solar-powered cells last? How much time do you need to charge them up, and how much time are they going to be good for until they're depleted and need to go through another round of charging?
We do have solar batteries. They're actually beneath the bus inside of one of our bays you'd have on a normal tour bus. You put your luggage in, we have our solar batteries there. And we can hold up to 6 kilowatt hours of power. So you figure a 60-watt light bulb, if you have 100 of those for an hour, you've just wasted 6 kilowatts. So it's just being very conscious of some of our energy use. But the good thing with us is as long as the sun's up, we're constantly collecting power and restoring those batteries.
Andy, this has been fun.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Thanks.
Welcome to my house. My house is always open to you, man.
It's nice. Guys, it's very comfortable in here. Again, Andy Bassett, thanks for joining us and giving us a tour of your house and the classroom of Knowles. And I'm Kevin Mayberry, Travel Television.
The National Public Lands Day is an annual celebration of the national parks. In addition to providing free admission at over 350 sites in the national park system, volunteers are solicited to work on projects from planting to maintaining trails. This past year, the premiere of Ken Burns' National Park series on PBS brought more attention to this American treasure. We sat down with the National Park Service staff who assigned park management staff, tour guides, and support for the thousands of miles of trails and public lands.
We're here with Bill Line from the National Park Service. Hi, thanks for being here today.
Glad to be here, thank you.
Can you tell us about some of the parks that Americans can experience?
Absolutely. Well, Americans have 392 national park sites, as we use the word sites, in all, actually 49 states. The only state that we don't have a national park is the state of Delaware, but Joe Biden will apparently do something about that. But within the parks, in all of the 49 states, we have multiple uses from a recreational standpoint. One of the things from a trails standpoint that we have is that virtually all of the parks have trails in varying different forms, degree of difficulty. Some are paved, some are not, that sort of thing. We encourage recreation in our national parks. Many of the parks have biking, hiking, our primary activities. In parks in which we are in the northern climes during the winter months, often in certain situations in certain parks, a number of parks will allow cross-country skiing within the park. So plenty of ways in which to get active recreation and to burn some calories while you're learning something about a national park. Marsh Billings in Vermont to Mount Rainier in Washington State to Catoctin Mountain Park that surrounds Camp David in the state of Maryland. All of these have trails that can be used as skiing trails and or cross-country skiing trails. And we encourage their use in the winter, but they're open all year round, and recreation is a part of the parks that we want to encourage heavily.
Okay, that's great that there's so many that there's to offer for people to do. But how can people give back to those parks that they're enjoying year-round?
Certainly the National Park Service, all park sites around the country are absolutely welcoming of volunteers. Every single park, all of the 392 parks in the system nationwide, have their own website. You can go to, all will start out as nps.gov/, and you go to whatever particular park you want to. If the park has two names in its title, such as Grand Canyon, you simply take the G and the R from Grand and the C and the A from Canyon, put them together. We always require 4 letters, so it's GRCA. It'll take you to the Grand Canyon site, for example. On the Grand Canyon site, typically on the left-hand side, there's a hot button in which is labeled volunteers, and that'll give you information on how you can volunteer at Grand Canyon. But all of the parks nationwide, same thing. Everglades, for example, EVER, click on that, click on volunteering, and there's ways in which the website will direct you to contact people. There's an online form that most of the time you're going to need to fill out, but we welcome all volunteers to help not only maintain our trails, but for a whole bunch of other reasons.
You have a national day, the Public Lands Day, for volunteers to come out and give their services.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. National Public Lands Day, it's not only the National Park Service, but all of the agencies within the Department of Interior as land management agencies celebrate National Public Lands Day. It's typically the very end of September. And it's a day, at least for the Park Service, in which we ask people to come out, volunteer. Again, that's maybe pruning trees, that may be picking up trash, that may be tidying up trails, that may be in trails where we have horseback riding, where we're helping to clean up horse manure, that sort of stuff, so that we don't attract certain animals or insects, that sort of thing. But again, National Public Lands Day is a way in which it's really designed so that Americans can give back and make a contribution, a meaningful contribution to the betterment and the further enjoyment of our public lands, of which national parks are a part of.
All right, great. Well, to find out more information about National Public Lands Day and all of the great parks, visit nps.gov.
There are many approaches to creating world peace, but none of them encourage quite as much travel as that of Servas, an international non-governmental peace organization. Through Servas, volunteers in over 100 countries have opened their homes to travelers wishing to learn more about the world's diverse cultures. New visitors can apply via Servas to join the cause by traveling to educate themselves or serving as hosts for their respective countries. If you're looking to learn firsthand what other cultures have to offer, take a look at servas.org to plan your journey.
It takes so little. One person doing one thing, one person on a team of 10 gutting a house, one person serving food to a resident. It's so simple. There's so much to be done, and it really, I think people get overwhelmed and they think, like, what can I possibly do? Come down here. You can do the smallest thing, and it makes such a big difference.
Relief Spark is a grassroots organization comprised of volunteers who provide first response disaster relief services. The members help communities respond and rebuild during and after natural disasters. Sidney Ray founded this group just after Hurricane Katrina using the very popular internet message board Craigslist to collect $3 million worth of donations from Southern California. Relief Spark has volunteers of all ages to work on both short and long-term projects. One project is the rebuilding of trails within New Orleans City Park. Travel Television spoke to some of the volunteers working on this project.
Executive Director and founder of Relief Spark, which is a nonprofit here in New Orleans. We support a network of other grassroots nonprofits by supplying them with volunteers, marketing, and PR support. The nonprofit we work with is Animal Rescue New Orleans. They were extremely active during the storm, and especially post-Katrina, by rescuing dogs off the street that were abandoned by their families or left behind by their families.
My name is Robin Bolio, and ARNA was started in October of '06, shortly after the storm, when all of the major groups were pulling out of the area. And at that time, we realized thousands of people had not been allowed to return home yet, and we knew there were many animals still on the streets. 50,000 animals were left behind for Katrina.
Greenlight New Orleans is a nonprofit that sends volunteers into people's homes to exchange light bulbs for energy efficient light bulbs.
name is Andy Hoffman. I'm from New Orleans, and I'm the Executive Director for Greenlight New Orleans. If you look at a CFL light bulb, a CFL light bulb saves about 75% of electricity. That comes down to about $45 to $50 over the lifetime of the light bulb. That is between 5 to 7 years. They last for 10,000 hours. So if you have the possibility to put 20,000 light bulbs into the community in New Orleans, the savings of electricity is about $1 million.
Another nonprofit that I really like is St. Bernard Community Center. That's operated by IRA. And St. Bernard Community Center is it's like the one-stop shop.
My name is Ira Nabatoff, and I'm from New Hampshire. We're a network resource. We're here for our partner nonprofit and faith-based groups, and we're here for residents trying to help enable them in their return. We run an internet media lab. We have a phone bank of Vonage voice over internet protocol phones. We run our mustard seed distribution. It's non-perishable food, hygiene items, and household supplies. And we do a community meal every Tuesday.
New Orleans is going to be needing help for the next 10 to 15 years to fully recover. New Orleans is a very beautiful city. We offer volunteers an amazing experience, that combination of fusing the nonprofit programs with the rich culture and arts and entertainment of what New Orleans has to offer. We are always looking for additional volunteers and groups to come out and work with us on the ground.
September 11th, National Day of Service and Remembrance, is the culmination of a 7-year effort started by 9/11 family members and support groups to establish the Service Day as a way to honor the victims and heroes, and to rekindle the spirit of unity and compassion that followed the attacks. September 11th was officially recognized as a National Day of Service and Remembrance by the Edward M. Kennedy Serve America Act, passed with strong bipartisan support and signed into law by President Obama in April 2009. The first officially designated September 11th National Day of Service and Remembrance was marked by close progress from all 50 states, with tens of thousands of volunteers coming out to paint, refurbish homes, run food drives, spruce up schools, reclaim neighborhoods, and support and honor veterans and first responders. The September 11th National Day of Service and Remembrance is the culmination of a 7-year effort started by 9/11 family members and support groups to establish the Service Day as a way to honor the victims and heroes, and to rekindle the spirit of unity and compassion that followed the attacks. September 11th was officially recognized as a National Day of Service and Remembrance by the Edward M. Kennedy Serve America Act, passed with strong bipartisan support and signed into law by President Obama in April 2009. the first officially designated September 11th National Day of Service and Remembrance was marked by service projects in all 50 states, with tens of thousands of volunteers turning out to paint and refurbish homes, run food drives, spruce up schools, reclaim neighborhoods, and support and honor veterans and first responders.
Today is September 11th, 2009, and it's the Day of Remembrance and Service for September 11th, and we're at the VA hospital in Washington, D.C., doing a number of service projects here on the campus, and I am partnering with Serve DC, which is the city's organization that coordinates service projects, and my own personal group, which is One Columbia Service Projects. I've been traveling the country for the last 2 years, and I'm finally now coming back home. I just got in tonight and have been planning to work on this service project back home here in DC. We pulled together groups of people, gay and straight people around the city, to connect with the greater DC community through service. It's a way that we can reconnect with the place that we've been here for so long. And today our group today did some planting to beautify the facilities here at the VA hospital. There's a bunch of other projects. I know that some other folks are putting together care packages for some of the veterans that are here. And in addition to beautifying the place, doing some cleanup inside as well. Interestingly, after I'm actually unemployed technically, I'm on unemployment, and so instead of sitting around my house being depressed about it, I'm spending my time doing volunteering. So in addition to this project, I've been putting together my own project here in DC, and trying to use my time wisely, and it keeps me motivated, and maybe connect to other people that possibly get a job down the road. And I've been encouraging a lot of my friends who are unemployed. Some of them are right out of college. Some of them were laid off. A lot of people worked on a lot of the campaigns of 2008, and I think it's incredibly important for personal self-fulfillment, to kind of keep you busy, especially if you don't have much to do, and it connects you with a community that you live amongst but maybe don't get a chance to interact with, especially for my friends who are employed and work all the time and don't ever connect to anyone else in town. I think it's a great way for them to do that, and especially in an economy and in a situation right now where a lot of people aren't doing so well. I think helping out in any way we can is a great way to give back.
Good morning, Mark Murphy here, just outside of Taipei, the city center in a small town called Inca. What are we doing here? Well, we figured we'd head out for a 40-minute ride to check out this neat little street. It's a cobblestone street. It's about 300 yards long. It's actually called Old Pottery Street by some, because what you'll find on it are well over 100 shops filled with ceramics that are handcrafted right here in Taiwan. Many one-of-a-kind pieces that we're going to go in and check out for ourselves right now. Just 10 minutes from Inca and still 30 minutes from Taipei City is the Sanchia Zushi Temple, built in 1769. You're going to want to combine the two up on a trip from Taipei City, and you definitely don't want to miss the details we're going to explore inside. Special about this temple are the intricate carvings in the stone, these stone pillars, the walls, literally everywhere you turn, the detail is incredible. Li Mei-shu, a renowned artist, post-World War II artist here in Taiwan, actually dedicated from 1947 until his death 36 years later, his entire life to restoring this temple. And you can notice it everywhere you turn, not only just the stone, but the intricate wood carvings as well. So after you take in some history in the temple, you'll literally be able to walk around the corner to what's known as Old Street, and you'll be able to take in some of the older architecture you see, along with some modern shopping.